Hey guys, I was sent this email with a video on Kaceytron, so thank you, Jen, for sending the email. The video is quite depressing. It is on YouTube, and essentially it is Kaceytron being very sad about Ethan Klein suing her. Now, in the video, she talks about her parents being disabled, her siblings being disabled, the fact that the lawsuit is very disruptive. She could be homeless. She's living paycheck to paycheck. You basically can figure out what the video is about from just those statements. And it is a very depressing and sad video, but nowhere does he talk about the defenses he would have. Nowhere does he talk about her innocence. Nowhere does he talk about he does talk about settlement and her offer to settle. And she does talk about Ethan Klein. She calls Ethan Klein or accuse him of malicious conduct, so please refrain from making any hateful post about him. So she has extended the olive branch and is hoping that Ethan Klein will settle. But as a lawyer, there's no defenses here. If you do have a strong case against copyright infringement, not only will you win the case in summary judgment, you will probably get your attorney fees paid as well. So, talking about the devastating effect, well, one way to prevent this is just not to do copyright infringement. So, let me repeat this again for all the Kaceytron fans. You don't get sued, or if somebody does sue you, the case will end very quickly. And if they're suing you out of malice or spite improperly, you will get all your attorney fees back. And what Kaceytron's paid up to this point is attorney fees. There's been no judgment. So the only thing causing her stress is her own attorney fees. Now, Kaceytron did pick her attorneys. These attorneys are the same as Denin's. In fact, my belief of the time scenario was Denin's picked her attorneys first and convinced Kaceytron, or at the very least, Kaceytron convinced herself that she should go with Denin's attorney. Now, Denin's is in Los Angeles. Her attorneys are in Los Angeles. They are very expensive attorneys. Kaceytron is in Missouri. She has not only one law firm working on this case, she has two, including the very expensive law firm in Los Angeles. My advice to Kaceytron at the time was just go with the lawyer that you chose in Missouri. It's going to save you a bunch of money. People don't understand that the majority of lawsuits, you spend more money on the lawyers, on your own lawyers. You spend more money paying your own lawyers than whatever the case is worth. One good example of this is Carl Jobs. He spent 1.2, 1.4, some crazy amount of money on his own lawyers when the case was only worth $400,000. So that's the maximal. If you lost every step of the way, $400,000 is what you would pay. You paid your lawyers more than a million, which is an incredible amount of money, right? Here, could I see the same thing happening? Yeah. The maximum amount of damages is $150,000, assuming Ethan pays his own attorneys. Yeah, it's $150,000. That's the maximum statute damage. Could Kaceytron's own legal fees be well over that? Yeah, absolutely. I would not be shocked if in another year she's already over $250,000 in legal fees. And this is what people don't understand about the law. The law is very expensive. Your lawyer is billing you at minimal $250 an hour, probably closer to $400, $600. If you're a Los Angeles lawyer at a reputable law firm, you're probably billing out $500, $600 an hour easy. That's every phone call. That's every email they type. Man, it's every hey, how's the weather down there, Casey? Hey, the weather's great. Bam. 10-minute weather conversation. Going to charge you $60. And that's if they don't have paralegals, they don't have junior attorneys. This is a way that they really rack up the bills. They have like multiple people on the phone call with you, and each of them is going to send you a bill for their legal hour, the working hours, right? The billable hours. So when you're talking to somebody about the weather and everyone's talking about how great the weather is or what they did over the weekend, and then you're 10 minutes in, it's not just 10 minutes times 600. It's 10 minutes times 600 plus 10 minutes times 400 times 10 minutes times 250. That's how they get you. I think the reality of this is really setting in on Kaceytron, and it is a bleak reality. It is exactly as you described, but the solution is to not commit copyright infringement. Let me repeat this again. If you commit copyright infringement, you are in danger of being sued. If you are sued for copyright infringement, you will probably pay your lawyers hundreds of thousands of dollars minimal to defend yourself. And then you might even lose. Should Ethan Klein, now we'll get to this Adam guy. This Adam guy is super excited for Kaceytron, right? So you can get some views. And I'm getting views, so who am I to talk about Adam? But he seems super excited. He drops his video probably 10 minutes after Kaceytron's video. Adam is like the H-free snark embodied, if you will. Ethan Klein, one of the reasons he may not drop this lawsuit, even if he wanted to, for Kaceytron's sake, is until he gets the name of the H-free snark mods. This is a very important lawsuit for him because he's claiming contributory negligence on the H-free contributory copyright infringement on the H-free snark mods regarding Kaceytron. So that's a basis he can go after their names, subpoena them, and so on. So far, he's only done it against Denons, and you can see that the H-free snark had to defend themselves in the case of Denons. He even had like a list of 150 times Denon said something during the entire video viewing or the YouTube watch party, whatever she wants to call it. Well, Frogan and Kaceytron would have to do the same. The H-free snark would have to do the same for those two. And I would imagine Kaceytron is actually probably the least defensible in terms of copyright infringement, which would then be contributory copyright infringement for H-free snark. I don't think Ethan can drop this lawsuit. I think it comes down to H-free snark. If H-free snark's names are revealed, maybe even drops a lawsuit and just pursues Denons. But he wants to punish them. So his main objective is H-free snark. And to do so, he's got to prove that Kaceytron committed copyright infringement. Right? That's the only way. If Kaceytron does if you cannot prove or you drop the case against Kaceytron for copyright infringement, then what are you saying about contributory copyright infringement? Right? It would be really ridiculous for you to go after somebody for contributory copyright infringement and not go after the person who did the copyright infringement. Logically saying, right? So I think this has a lot to do with H-free snark. You can see the timeline. The timelines are always super important here. Kaceytron, no updates since, I think, October 2nd, October 4th. Denons, no updates since October 2nd, October 4th. Frogan, no updates since, I think, August 28th or something like that. The only case that is being updated weekly would be the subpoena case, which involves H-free snark. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Bye, guys.